Adnan Sareen with us. Let's go to Mr. Sareen. Mr. Sareen, I was telling you about this video where Pakistani delegates participated in the Interpol meeting. They were asked a pointed question about Dawood Ibrahim. They did not answer, remained silent. Does this implicitly, indicate indictment of Pakistan when it comes to Dawood Ibrahim?
Look, I'm not sure whether it does. The thing is that when you ask him a question like that, he could not have admitted that Dawood Ibrahim is present in Karachi and living a good life under the protection and the care of the Pakistani state. He could not have said that. Now, he could have denied it, that he doesn't know who Dawood Ibrahim is and has absolutely no idea about his whereabouts. He could have done it, but that would not have convinced anybody, and everybody would have called him a liar. And the third option was to keep quiet. That way, he keeps some dignity intact and hopes the storm will pass him by. So I think that is what he chose to do, not respond to the question, because either of the other two responses would have opened him for a lot of flack and a lot of trouble, both in India as well as back home. And I think that's the course of action he took.
Right, and as you mentioned that either of the two possibilities, the first two ones would have caused a lot of trouble, so he chose the smart route to remain silent here. But if there was no association of Pakistan with Dawood Ibrahim or Hafiz, he could have been very confident in saying no, right? But he did not say that no.
No, but look, had he said no, would you have accepted his no? Or any of the 1.3 billion?
That's the point, but that's besides the point. If he's being asked a question about his country's ties when it comes to Dawood Ibrahim or any of these terrorists for that matter, he could have proudly said a no, but the very fact that he cannot proudly say a no says a lot actually. His silence speaks a lot.
I think he would not have been proud saying no, but the point is that the moment you say no, then you are accused of being in denial, and a range of other accusations, all of which would be correct, would be heaped upon him. So I think he decided that he is just going to keep his mouth shut and let this whole thing pass him by, because had he said no, nobody would have accepted his denial, because everybody would have known that that was a plain and simple untruth that he was speaking.
Mr. Sareen, he's not in the court of law and he's not under oath. He's not going to be accused of committing any kind of perjury even if he says anything. It's just in a public forum what he says. He's not under oath, so he could have actually said no, which he didn't, which he decided not to.
But can you imagine that, we are playing out his silence the way we are playing it out on our television screens? Can you imagine what we would have done if he had said, no, I don't know who Dawood Ibrahim is, I have no idea about his whereabouts, we have absolutely no knowledge of it. Even though there is a red corner notice against Dawood Ibrahim, even though Dawood Ibrahim is an internationally designated terrorist, everybody knows where his whereabouts are. In fact, in some of the international designations where he has been named, they have even given his whereabouts being in Pakistan. Now, under those circumstances, maybe this guy is a bit of a self-respecting man and decided that he'll keep quiet. Or maybe he was too stunned by the questioning and the very forthright nature of the questioning, the very blunt nature of the questioning. He didn't know what has hit him. But I would imagine that between a denial and keeping quiet, those were his only two options. He could not accept that Dawood Ibrahim is living under the protection of the Pakistani state and its intelligence agencies. He could not have admitted it. So I think he decided that he'd rather keep quiet.
All right, Mr. Sareen, thanks so much for that quick input right there. Appreciate you joining us on this broadcast. In fact, he was also asked about Hafiz side. We played out what he said, what he didn't say rather, when he was asked about Dawood Ibrahim. Let's listen into the question on Hafiz side now.
जनाब एक सवाल है, क्या नहीं एक छोटा सा मतलब आप सुन लें, उसके बाद आपकी मर्जी होगी देना ना देना, क्या ये प्रोसेस एक्स्ट्राडिशन का बढ़ेगा भारत के साथ? दाऊद इब्राहिम को आप इंडिया को सौंपेंगे? एक्सेलेंसी हाफिज सईद एंड दाऊद इब्राहिम मोस्ट वांटेड है इंडिया में। क्या आप भारत को सौंपेंगे?
सर आप इंटरपोल के असेंबली में आए हैं, दाऊद इब्राहिम को लेकर कुछ कहना चाहेंगे, कुछ बताना चाहेंगे? दाऊद इब्राहिम को लेकर आपका क्या रिएक्शन क्या है सर?
अपना कोई रिएक्शन सर आप देना चाहेंगे सर?
So the Prime Minister discussed the issue of terrorism.
सर आप इंटरपोल के असेंबली में आए हैं, दाऊद इब्राहिम को लेकर कुछ कहना चाहेंगे, कुछ बताना चाहेंगे? दाऊद इब्राहिम को लेकर आपका क्या रिएक्शन क्या है सर?
अपना कोई रिएक्शन सर आप देना चाहेंगे सर?
So the Prime Minister
Manish Pandey now joins us for the very latest. Manish, you heard that interrogation right there when it came to Hafiz side and Dawood Ibrahim as well, and the Pakistani delegate chose to remain silent on that particular confrontation. Does this somewhere, and how do you read this, does this implicitly indict Pakistan of their association with both Dawood and Hafiz both?
Well, Chati, this happened in the 90th General Assembly of Interpol, which is taking place in New Delhi. I was present there. And before we asked the question to the Pakistani delegates, Prime Minister Narendra Modi gave a speech in which he said that all the law enforcement agencies of the entire world, all the countries have to come together to tackle the issue of terrorism. It is not only impacting certain countries, but the entire world. And when the speech got over, we approached the Pakistani delegation and we asked him specifically what they have to say about Dawood Ibrahim or terrorism, but they decided not to react on our questions. Now, as far as Pakistan is concerned, remember, not only India, but even the President of America recently said that Pakistan and terrorism, they go along together. And there have been many terror activities in past where we have seen that not only in India but in world that Pakistan link has emerged. There have been allegations that Pakistan is giving safe haven to not only terrorists but terrorist organizations. Now, what we have been given to understand is that the Interpol meeting in the General Assembly, there will be bilateral meetings. It will be interesting if there is a bilateral meeting between India and Pakistan. If it happens, India will certainly raise the issue of terrorism and Dawood Ibrahim. But certainly, in today's context, we asked this question to the Pakistani delegation about Dawood Ibrahim and terrorism, but they choose not to react on our question.
Perhaps in the bilateral, in case that happens, Manish, they would have to then speak up. At this point of time, of course, they chose to remain silent.
Yeah, well, Chati, first of all, they have to agree for a bilateral meeting. We have been given to understand is that certainly it is playing. India is mulling over the option of bilateral meeting. Apart from the General Assembly meeting, there are going to be bilateral meetings between the countries. But whether Pakistan will agree for a bilateral meeting with India or not, that is still not clear. If that happens, certainly India is going to raise multiple issues regarding terrorism, regarding the terrorists who are still wanted in 2008 Mumbai bomb blast attack, and also about Dawood Ibrahim, who is the most wanted terrorist not only for India but for many countries in this globe.
All right, thanks Manish for that update right there. Manish Pandey breaking the story first on India Today, getting us those latest details. It is a big India Today exclusive on your screens right now.